And welcome back to the North Shore of the island of Oahu. This is the gathering place, and North Shore is the country. We are at Haleiwa, the start of the 7 Mile Miracle, and we're going to finish up our first round of competition. It is heat number 16 for round number 1. We are going to go into our 2 heats, according to Marty Thomas, round 2, heats 1 and 2. And in the lineup, Thomas Woods, Gonzalo Zubizarreta, Koa Smith in yellow, and Ian Gentile coming from all the way from Laniakea.
Time. It only took him 30 seconds to sign that bad boy, and now he's out there. So no priority right now, a little bit of jockeying, but it does look like Ian scrapping for that first wave day.
This is a guy that is just so talented and has had such a run in competition, brilliant amateur career, a U.S. champion and a runner-up to titles in the NSSA, a mini Huni champion, the USA Championships. How hideous is I'm going out surfing.
Capitalize.
And guess what? A lot of times contests are held in difficult conditions. Your number 1 seed, Thomas Woods, the 22-year-old from Burley Heads, Queensland. Nice float off the top. Another digs in, and another float. You didn't see the first one, second one, and the third, he mixes it up. Big kid. Chugan Seahawks, local rugby club. The Aussies love their rugby. They're all great, talented surfers, and whether they're not watching or surfing, they're with their local rugby club, aren't they?
They really are able to kind of translate that sporty vibe over to surfing, which traditionally in years past has been more of an artist form. But Thomas Woods, seamless surfing here. Look at maneuvers. There's no weaving, no bumping, no bouncing. 3 really clean turns there. I know they weren't amazing, but they were very solid, and I just love how he linked each turn, with just no extra energy. Very smooth.
Woods out in the lineup posts a 6.17, not a bad score.
Yeah, it's solid. And again, he didn't have his foot all the way down on the gas, but just a nice smooth 6.17 there. He made that look very easy. And
Laniakea, he's from Sprex.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's from Maui, and here we go.
Well, nice little high line for a couple of dumps and pulls out. Unfortunately, with that, he's going to lose priority.
91st, and it'd be cool to see who's the 96 alternate, too. Yeah. A lot of surfers out there that want to be a pro on tour.
First priority surfer in yellow. He's sitting in the spot, doesn't want it. Doesn't even want to really take a serious paddle to the inside. Gonzalo Zubizarreta with a half-point ride to start things off. Looking to pick up the scraps. He's got 4th priority. Big electronic screen up here showing green, over 5 minutes remaining, and showing priority. Yellow priority first, followed by blue, red, and then white. Thomas Woods opened with a 6.17. He's got command of this and gets this wave with 3rd priority. That was like a skate bowl move.
I love that. That was crispy surfing there. Out the back.
Out the back, our surfer in white. Zubizarreta keeping busy as he moves up, and he's going to lose priority. A lot of white water on this. We're going to talk about as you come into the bowl here, surfing not on the clean wave, but the foam looks like
leave a trail of foam in it, and it just makes it turbulent. It's hard to get traction. You know, Thomas Woods was a benefactor of Koa Smith being a little selective. He was on the outside and he let this wave go, and he absolutely scored. That was a nice inside section there, and again, 0 rails caught there for Thomas Wood.
First year was 2013, a 65th, then a 97th. It's got to be frustrating to travel all the way from Australia looking for some big scores. Here's Zubizarreta.
There's that foam you're talking about, Dave. Right here, it really fills up. Look at all that turbulence. Fins are going to not really track. You're not going to be able to get that drive down the line that you can get. You know, when the water's clean, you can get a lot of friction on those fins, and you can get going fast. But when it's foamy, you lose traction, you lose speed. 1 point for Strider.
Oh, my gosh. Well, during the recap, we saw some waves as they were battling it out up in the booth there. And take a look at this. Backhand attack for Koa Smith.
That's what a 6.73 looks like right there from the goofy footer from Kauai. A couple of solid little snaps there for Koa Smith. This is a 7.23, so just getting the nod. There's the buckets throwing some spray. Nice clean little hook there for Goni. And then a nice layback hammer to finish that wave off. I would have even liked to see that score go a little higher. Great surfing there from Zubizarreta. You know, kind of a different energy in the air.
So when we go into the next round, round number 2, the top 2 seeded surfers will be red and white. Here we go. Surfer in blue, Gentile. First priority using it. Boy, what a slick move to get to the top, and that was a hideous landing on his board. That's a rip breaker.
That was the right choice of words. That was hideous. Heavy wipeout.
And out the back, picking up the scraps here. Looking at this, trying to pet our 617. And Thomas Woods thinks he's Akira and finds a closeout Akira. Or is it Snapper Rocks? Or is it Greenmount? Whatever. He is from Burley Heads. I believe he's living in Chugan. Either way, plenty of surf. Now up and riding. Backhand attack for Koa Smith. They just love the way this guy's surfing, his energy as well. The 20-year-old does a lot of cross-training, great shape like he and his brother.
He just kicked out right in front of, I believe it was Thomas Woods. There he is right there. So they're trying to get back out there to get priority.
Super Zaretta looking to better at 317. He's currently in the second spot. A 594 can take him into the lead. Bottom turn, top turn, a couple of moves right there. Here's the toilet bowl. There's the closeout. And the closeout would look to be simple or even hurtful. You can go down hard right on the reef.
So it's really tough to kind of launch out. A lot of times you have to project. That's why you see so many floaters to finish this wave off. You need to get away from all that breaking water. Hefty wipeout right here. Check that out. Ian Gentile landed straight on his ribs on the deck of his board. That looked painful. He'll feel that later tonight. But I tell you what, I think Thomas Woods is trying to get rid of a 6.17. I love that layback snap right there. But, you know, in terms of scores, it kind of feels like it's going to be that same zone. So I'm not sure he's going to better his top two. Koa Smith on his backhand. He's able to approach that lip 12 o'clock in that first turn. And there's that soupy whitewash right there he had to deal with just before he gets one more little whip whap in. So just an okay score for Koa. And I really like Goni's style. Look how smooth this cat is. But again, watch how shallow the toilet bowl is. Really tricky section. He's going to catch that rail right there.
Not the perfect ending. We've said it time and time again. At least I have. You will not be deducted for what you don't do.
He's already bagged those first two turns, but I think, you know, if he wanted to get a big score, he needed to finish it off.
Well, here we go. Deep in the lineup. Got to race this one down. Pump into the high line. Gentile. And he exits out. Well, one of the things you see surfers take odd falls or get away. First of all, get away from the board. Look at the lineup here. Beautiful day. Offshore conditions, quartering offshore. We're in the final heat of round number one. We are going to get to the next two heats. Here we take a look at this. Surfer in blue needs a decent score. He's in the combination situation. There's a nice wrap. Stands on the tail from Sprecklesville. Yes, you've heard of Klaus Spreckles and the sugarcane fields and the plantations. Well, it's basically near Paia, between Paia and Kahalui.
I don't know what's going on Maui, but it's such a hotbed of talent right now. I mean, you could argue that out of the state of Hawaii, Maui is the place.
Well, I think it was. You take a look at the strap, guys. Let's talk about his wave right now.
Well, great opening snap, Dave, but, you know, after that wave, you can see, I mean, after that first maneuver, the wave got backwashy and small, so it's going to be a pretty small score.
Well, let's take a look at the early guys, the guys that used to windsurf and that were great surfers, but windsurfing, they could make money both ways. Well, we're winding down this heat, and it's a tough one for Ian Gentile. Goni Zubizarreta needs a 5.83. He's trying for this last wave. And unfortunately, the surfer representing Spain has been eliminated. The surfer out of Sprex, Hawaii, gone. But Thomas Woods, rejoice Burley Head. The Burley board riders are going, yeah, right on, Thomas. He advances through along with the surfer out of the island of Kauai, Koa Smith. Congratulations.